love, fear, failure, success, and finally, survival. I've been through them all and came out stronger and healthier. Yeah, I went to a dark place, but talking about it pulled me out. My name is Sandy Crosse, and this is Crosse Conversations.
So what version of beats were those again? Is it like...
Girl, you starting my way. You starting my way for real.
Are those beats or
When was the last time I saw your ass and you talking about my beats? Listen, these are beats, plus. What's his name?
Hold on.
Wait a minute, what's that fine?
We recording. We at least need to greet everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey! Whoop, whoop, whoop. You're supposed to lead in. You always lead in, man. What's going on with you? You slacking.
Sorry if we're a little loud. I'm going to adjust that a little bit. But, yeah, so welcome back. Oh, gosh, I don't even know what day it is. It's like day in November.
That's funny. It's Friday the 19th.
It's Friday the 19th.
I just can't believe next week is Thanksgiving. Somebody said that to me this week, and I was like, are you kidding? You lying. But it's my daddy's birthday next week.
Oh, happy birthday.
So I'm like, oh, so Thanksgiving is coming up.
Thanksgiving's coming.
Yeah, he's usually within a day or two of Thanksgiving. So,
for the people who may be listening for the first time, I am Shaunte Says, and you are...
I'm Sandy.
No. And we're doing another episode of Crosse Conversations. Crosse Conversations.
Yes. Miss Shaunte Says is in the house. I got you to travel out of the bush into the city.
Oh my God. See, that leads to what? The bush? Wait a minute. I had to think about that. I'm like, oh no. Bush.
You down south, my little country friend. I love you.
I'm in a 757, baby.
75. I know you're proud of that 757 too. Huh?
The 757 and the rest of Virginia. So how about that? It's like Apple and everything else.
I love me my Samsung, even though I was converted, forcibly converted.
Blasphemy. She has an Apple iPhone, and she got an Apple Watch, y'all. So she really
by force. Let it be seen. Let it be heard. My daddy, the kids.
She really joined the movement.
You go upstairs to my room. You look in the nightstand. You'll see a big fat Samsung.
You see it's in the nightstand though. You said nightstand. It ain't out in the open. Is it even charged up? It probably isn't.
Probably not.
All right then.
Probably not.
Bye, Samsung.
Wow.
I was tired of those green texts anyway.
What? It was up with all my friends. Trina was like,
yeah, no.
I was so happy.
Yeah, no.
I was so happy.
We were done when
I saw that. I didn't say nothing to her. I just sent her a text, and it was blue. She was like, she texted me back, and then she's like, whoa!
Exactly.
It just hit her.
It's like that. But I will say, Samsung took good pictures.
It's better pictures than this.
Well, wait, I don't know though. There's a new iPhone though. It's on and popping. It's on and popping.
The iPhone have 3 cameras.
Yeah,
the Samsung has 5. The pictures are so clear you could see into the future.
Okay, whatever. So why are we here today?
Oh, listen.
Look, getting all offended. I don't want to talk anymore. She brought out the 5 cameras. Why are we here? What are we doing?
This actually is a good question. We've had some really
started it this way. You know that, right?
Yes.
Why am I doing this? I think that was the very first question.
Yes, it was. And I think it's a nice way to wrap up this final, I don't want to say season, but, we've had quite a few conversations. I was going to say sessions, but that's my counseling. But in reality, it's taken 2 years, actually. The journey's been my salvation. This podcast has helped me to really, how do I put it? Dig deep, find my truth, live with my truth. And
it probably felt like a release, right? Because you've probably been walking around, and most people are walking around with so much stuff, even things they don't remember. And then something sparks it and triggers them. And then finally it's like, either you lose it, cry, whatever. But it sounded, when I think about our conversations, it sounds like it was a release for you.
That's a great word, release and relief.
Okay.
I think the word relief epitomizes my current state of mind. I honestly was talking to a counselor, and we started off earlier in the year. And when I was at the beginning, she asked me a bunch of questions. I answered it. I said all these things. And then when we hit the mid-year point, the 6-month point, we had to do inventory. And she's like, let's talk about the things you said, 6 months ago. She said, you talked about your skin. You talked about your hair. You talked about you don't sleep. You talked about you're not doing any exercises. You talked about not being able to travel. You talked about how just my IBS, it was just a bunch of stuff. I was like, damn, really? And
you like, lesson is I talk too much.
For real. For real. I was like, damn, I've been doing a lot of talking. And then she said, let's talk about where we are today. And then she went down the list. She's like, you talked about your skin, and then last week you were telling me about your this facial that I had. No, let me not lie. It was a chemical peel. Girl, our friend saw me the first day. She took me out for my birthday. She's like, Sandy, it looks like your face when you've been in the ocean and you don't have no lotion.
So hold on. First of all, I didn't know black people got chemical peels. That's a new one on me.
Oh, really?
So,
girl,
I wanted to tell you how your skin looked amazing tonight.
Really?
And it's so funny that you got a chemical peel.
Is
that cheating?
No.
You cheated.
She told me I didn't really need it. But I said I really needed it because, one, girl, that trip to Jamaica, you know how black we got, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
And then when it kind of went away, I had a little splash here, a little splash there. I didn't know what color I was because I actually burnt a little bit, and so I started putting stuff on, and I was just like, you know what, I want to do over. I want to do something from scratch. So I went and got a hydration facial, and that worked wonders. I'm like, I look so good. Yeah, girl. I was like, I look so good. I was looking at
your skin tonight when we were at the happy hour. I was like, well, dang, what is she doing?
I did a facial last night.
Okay.
So that was all part of my therapy I started doing my self-care.
Okay.
So I started doing self-care Sundays again. And then one day during the week. So I chose, it used to be Wednesdays, but now I have wine Wednesdays. So I do self-care Thursdays because, your skin be looking raggedy after a couple glasses of wine.
Well, who said the wine isn't part of the self-care too?
Oh, that's definitely part of the self-care. I'm talking about my skin rituals now. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And I'm looking forward to the coming episodes because it's going to get more. I mean, I guess it's going to get more in detail of life and experiences and so forth. And you remember going way back, I was like, I can't say that.
Yeah, you were very protective of everybody's feelings, and you have control over when this is released.
And I was talking to someone and she said to me, why is it your business what other people think about you?
Good question. Wow.
So, folks, why is it your business what other people think about you? Why are you in other people's head trying to figure out what they're thinking about you when you should be spending time on yourself?
So why are you letting them in your head thinking about them? Okay.
And they ain't thinking about you.
Okay.
So I had to take a few steps back and say, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, or I don't have to hurt this person's feelings and that person's feelings. And this is happening, and this person's going through such a hard time. And I went into F it mode, and I went into self-preservation mode, and I started talking about so many things here, and obviously with my counselors and so forth, but just being able to release the stress. Mm-hmm. It's still a work in progress. I still have, my IBS. I still have things that pop up, and then my heart starts beating fast, and then my anxiety comes up, and then next thing I know, I'm not eating, I'm blah, 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 not sleeping, blah, blah, blah,
Now, how much of that do you think is personal versus professional stress?
Well, back in the day, like about 6 months ago, where I would say personal. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's both. It is both because, I run my own company and I never even think about it like it's a company. But in the last year with COVID and everything else, it's grown and it's becoming more demanding of me. So that means I have to kind of split myself up into so many pieces. And as I'm splitting and splitting and splitting and splitting, I started realizing that everybody else is getting most of me. And I'm putting myself last. Again. So I am focused on putting myself first. And I keep saying that to everyone, whether it's the kids. They were like, I guess you are putting yourself first because you ain't even cooking.
That's an indicator.
My son is like, Mom, what are we doing about dinner tonight? I'm like, whatever you want, son. It's in the freezer.
So I think people need to know, though, how old your kids are, just so they don't think like, oh, my God, she has these little kids running around.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's fine that you don't cook.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber delivery.
He said he spent too much money on deliveries.
Oh, so mom should cook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's lucky that I even go to the grocery store. I don't go to the grocery store much since COVID, man. I go maybe every 3 months, maybe every 2. If we run out of milk or whatever, they can go buy that themselves. I had to force him to go. He uses all my stuff up, my detergent, my toilet paper, I know we're off topic, but I gotta say it.
I don't know. This might be a triggering conversation for plenty of people.
No, he had the nerve. The toilet paper, the paper towel, laundry detergent. And he always finished up the laundry detergent. I bought I went to Costco. So just Costco alone, you know that it's supposed to last you for 3 years because it's too big. Right? Homeboy took it, and you could see the container to go to the recycle bin. It's in my kitchen. I'm like, wait. I was going to wash all weekend because, I'm about to do a major dump of all stuff. Oh, I'm like, so that means you need to go get some soap. And while you're at it, you need to get toilet paper, paper towel, napkins, Kleenex.
What do you mean? Because that stuff automatically appears in the house. Why would he have to go get it?
What? I'm like, you need to go get it. You need to go get it today because once I start tomorrow, I'm not stopping. And I'm not doing it again. I told you guys. And I'm like, and don't you get no store brand?
Uh-oh.
He'll go and he'll get the cheapest one there. And I'm like, I'm using, what, Arm & Hammer? I'm dedicated to you. I'll say it. I'm using Arm & Hammer. And if you want to become a sponsor, I'll take it.
You hear that plane? Is that a plane?
I do hear a plane.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I saw a UFO, but that's another story.
Okay, I gotta go. She's seeing UFOs. I'm going back home.
But yeah, it's.
Well, shout out to the parents that got grown ass children living with them.
We
understand your pain.
I understand deep pain. One of the things too that I have done in the past few months is to it told me to stand up that I've been sitting too long.
Oh. I was like, what is she doing? She's standing up. I'm like, what is really going on here?
I feel like my joints are hurting and everything. I'm getting old.
So look, how about this? So when we started this, we started this a while ago, and so much has happened. Yeah. It's like, I feel like we're two completely different people. Well, we are probably two completely different people.
We are.
What do you think? One of the things you mentioned about during COVID, your business has grown. What are some other good things that came out of experiencing the pandemic?
Actually, I felt really guilty at the beginning of the year to say that, last year wasn't so bad. I felt so bad.
Oh.
I felt really, really bad because there were so many people who lost family, and there were a couple of people I knew that were close that lost their lives. They had health conditions and they lost their lives, and the compassion was there for everybody, and I was locked up like everybody else, and that's what we were. We were locked up. So I used that time to one, pay down all my bills because I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't doing nothing. So I paid off all my bills. And then I remodeled my house. And I spent time doing things that brought me joy because I wasn't used to doing things that brought me joy outside of traveling. And I couldn't do that. So, you know, that was a really, really good experience for me to just be able to just do things that made me happy. You know, I started getting rid of a lot of baggage. A lot of baggage. There were relationships in my life, including my sister, you know, friends, a couple of family members who I really and truly had to get a grip and understand what my dynamics of my relationships are. I had to start putting myself first. And when you start putting yourself first, some people either you're cheerleaders or they cheer for you, but they're not really happy for you. And it's been an interesting journey because there's so many people, not so many, that's not true. I'm the type of person, if you're my friend for life. You know you stuck with me.
I know.
Wow, don't sound so pleased.
I know.
You know, I could go 8 months and not talk to you, or, you know, and they're our friends, and I pick up the phone, I'm like, so blah, 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 blah. What's up? You know, and get together, talk, whatever. And it's like, it was like yesterday that we saw each other. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people take that for granted because they assume that you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it and keep doing it. And then when you are at your lowest, you know, they don't know how to help you because you're not that bubbly personality that's, you know, let's go do this, let's go do it, blah, 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 blah. And it was amazing to me to see how little support I really have from certain family members, certain friends. And it was also very clear to me, it helped to open up my third eye. I mean, I really believe that exists because I started seeing people for what they truly are and not through how I want them to be. You know, I was talking to a very, very close, my best friend, and she said that, you know, just because somebody's your family doesn't necessarily mean they have to be your friend. You can love them, but not necessarily have to be around them and do everything with them or for them or whatever the case may be. And when you're just poked at and poked at and poked at, and you just take it because you always have to be the bigger person, because that's what I'm always told. You're the oldest, so you have to be the bigger person. Then it's just, and then I think it just becomes bullshit, honestly. It's not fair. It's not fair to always be the one giving and giving and giving. And you're not used to receiving. And then when you do receive, you don't know how to act. You know, you don't know how to just be accepting of people's kindness, or you don't know how to ask for help. You know, we don't know how to ask for help.
I'm working on it.
Okay. I am too. And I've had a couple people, just, some of them are older, some of them are much younger, just say to me, it's okay to just look out for yourself because nobody's going to look out for you. You know, I had my daughter give me some real solid advice, not once, but a couple of times, about how to handle certain relationships in the family, because she's like, why do you keep going back for more? Yeah. Because, that's your kin. That's your sister or your brother or your aunt, your uncle, whatever the case may be, your dad, mom,
And you're also looking at your family through your own personal lens, right? Like, and yeah. Because I do know some of the things you've experienced, and I know you're thinking, I would never do my family member like that, right? And
Ever.
So you keep coming back thinking, okay, so maybe this time they're gonna be okay, and they're not going to do something silly or hurt me, disappoint me. So, and they do. So it's just one of those things. My husband and I talk about this, about expectations, and you put your own expectations. It's kind of like if you have a habit, like I would never put a glass on the table without a coaster, because that's just not what I would do. But that doesn't mean everybody else is like that.
Even though there's coasters here.
Oh, there's coasters here. Yeah, because I saw, I was about to put my thermos on your table, and I said, let me find a little napkin and put it under, because I see she has it under her bottle. So yeah, like I follow whatever the rule is.
And that's me too, because, and then I see people put stuff down. I never even think about it. You know, I don't think about it. I'm not fussy.
Yeah, you don't fuss about it, but it's still, I want to respect, you know.
No, but I appreciate that, you know, but people are not like that. And you're right, expectations, because I expect people to be nice to me because I'm nice to people.
You're going to be disappointed.
I have been.
Every day.
I know. And I'm learning how to deal with that disappointment.
Come with no expectations.
No expectations. You know, whether family or not, no expectations. And that's what I've been doing. I've honestly been purging my life from all the clothes, and don't say anything because they're all going to be gone soon. From clothes, stuff. So that's how I know I've been depressed for, I don't know, maybe 10 years, 15 years, who knows? It just starts so slow.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you become functioning with it. I mean, you obviously, right? You kept your home, you've worked, you've traveled, you've done stuff, but still probably were depressed or, you know, unhappy. COVID, for some reason, like, and the reason why I ask you that is because a lot of people are like, oh my God, it was awful, you know, and it's like, it actually was good for some. It was a reset good. Because
reset, yes, that's the other R, reset.
So one of the things that I've been telling, like even some of my closest friends, is like we operate go. And the perfect example, Sandy, is we were talking about your professional career, and you know, in your profession, you have a killer win rate, right? Like you are a winner, but I bet a year or two ago, you didn't think about it like that. You're like, yeah, I know I'm good. I win, but okay, whatever. You win. Organizations win billions of dollars of contracts based on what you have done. You now have this moment where you're sitting in your home and you can actually think about it like, oh my God, do you know how many thousands of people have been employed just because?
Yeah, it's
see, you know. You get emotional. But the whole point is, this is, for some reason now we're reset and we're like, we're more sensitive to things now because you're grateful, you're thankful, and it's like you're starting to see, well, wow, I've been doing this, not even thinking about it. And now, take time to reflect. I tell my friends all the time, even if it's every quarter, every 6 months, every year, whatever, stop. Just stop what you're doing and look back at what you've done. Because I'm sure 10, 20 years has passed for you. And now if we sat here and like jotted down everything you've done for 10 or 20 years, you'd probably be in tears, like happy tears, obviously, but like, wow. Because who knows what you thought of yourself then at those moments. Seeing those accomplishments.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like, put that way. It's like, damn, yeah.
Yeah. I tell people, I mean, it's like a simple exercise. You know, I'm a life coach too. I tell people simple exercise like I used to do is accomplishments. I called it my extraordinary activities. And, you know, you get these lulls where you're like, am I doing the right thing? Or why am I doing this? And then you look back at this list for me, it'd be like a month or two ago. I'm like, oh my God, I am, excuse my French, I'm the shit. Right. Like, you know, it's something to boost myself up. So yeah, pause.
That's hard.
It is.
It's so hard. It's really funny because it's going back a little bit to the facial. I was looking in the mirror and I was talking about how horrible my skin looks, how this looks, how that looks. And I would go out and people are like, oh my God, your skin looks amazing. Yeah. I'm like, okay, thanks. And then, you know,
I need to come back and scrub that mirror then if you think that.
No, but it's going back to, it's for me, it's just like, is it humble? It's not, you're not being humble if you're thinking that you're so great, right? You're not being you're being boastful, but I'm like, are you boasting to yourself when you're like, you know what, I'm proud of myself? Is that boasting?
I don't think it's boasting. I think it's affirming. I think it's reminders, because we wait subconsciously. We wait for other people to tell us how great we are, and you just mentioned how people are, looking at you side eye, or they don't want to see you succeed. So if you can't cheer for yourself,
that's true.
Cheer for yourself. Take the time.
It's really hard.
It is really hard, but it's not boasting. It's a reminder. Because like I said, I personally have had those moments. Am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? And then I hear something or I see something I've done. I'm like, oh my God. It's almost like I step out of my body and I talk to myself like another person. You are the shit. You are, yes. I don't know why I'm stuck on shit. It's one of those things. Once you say the curse word, it's like it keeps coming out 20 times.
This is your turn.
My turn.
It's usually me.
It's usually you. But yeah, no, it's just a reminder. So if it's like, if you got to talk to yourself, and I know it sounds crazy, in third person, second person, whatever, do it. Step out. Look at it like, girl, look what we just did.
You're right. You're right. And I get the nicest notes from my clients, like, we couldn't have done it without you. And I'm like, yeah, you could. So
that's you minimizing your work.
No. And then I'm just like, just send me the check.
See, that's operating, right? That's cruise control. Okay, great. That's cool.
Okay, I need to focus on this other one right now.
Next project.
Yeah. But
Celebrate.
I have, with COVID, you're right. I have taken time to just like, that was really good. Oh, you know what? That was really good. I literally went back to playing tennis in high school. How, I played where Serena and Venus like grew up. That's where I played on the same courts. Mm-hmm. I won, by the way. I won it, and I was like the only Black person on the tennis team.
See
so
how she slid that in. I won, by the way.
And they always threw me out there to play when we played in Compton. I was like, why? But then I strut my little black
stretch your little black ass out there. Go ahead.
With my little frilly outfit, and had a killer serve, and I would win. And then when we were going back on the bus, everybody was talking about, oh, this was such a great day, blah, blah, blah. And most of it was on my shoulder. But everybody was, we had teams and so forth. It was definitely a team effort. But the majority of sets played was by one person.
Oh, wow.
So, it's pretty cool. It's looking back, it's pretty cool. And today or yesterday, I was purging and I found some pictures and I was just like, this is why I do it. The back of it, my mom, there's pictures from my mom, and she was with like Rita Marley and Ziggy Marley, and I have it right over there. I'll show it to you. Actually, it's really cool. And a picture of myself because I was at a cricket match. Yes, my daddy used to play cricket. Lord have mercy. Everybody teased me about that. So bougie. Did he play polo too? I'm like, sometimes.
What is up with all these grown-ups? Y'all had bougie childhoods.
What?
Cricket. Tennis.
You didn't play cricket or croquet?
No. No. All I know is salmon croquettes. I don't know croquet crickets. How did I gotta talk to God about this, because He surrounded me with some interesting people. The stories I hear with like their childhood and yours, I'm like, what? Cricket?
Yeah, cricket. It's like baseball. That's the only thing I can tell
all these
people.
Bougie Black people.
Yeah, and then we'd have high tea at halftime.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about high tea now.
But yeah, it's really, COVID was a chance for me to reset, a chance for me to look at myself in the mirror, a chance for me to be honest with myself. Yeah, you're fat. You need to lose weight. You need to start exercising. You need to start moving. Yeah, this and this and this. And then I was just hitting all the negative. Last July, when I left my job and left the stress and left it behind, my mindset totally started changing. And then when I started really and truly digging deep, because I had to talk about stuff, the podcast was doing it and helping me. And somebody said to me actually that, I told him that my mom wanted me to write a book. She wants to talk about the book, talk about the book, talk about the book. And I'm thinking, no, this is where I can have the most impact. This is where I can say to a boy, a girl, or man or woman or whatever, that, stuff that happens to you in your childhood, whether you were physically, emotionally, sexually, whatever, abused, whether you were on drugs or your parents were on drugs, whatever the case may be, your childhood affects you in ways that, the way it manifests in your future, if you don't deal with it, it's really sad. It's really sad. It's people who are turned to drugs because they don't know any other way, or prostitution because they don't know any other way, or not that there's anything wrong with prostitution because it makes some money, but some people, they're selling their soul.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else for them to do, because they don't know any better, because they don't think they're worth any more. So me not putting anyone down or any one profession down, it's just mindset. I have actually gone into strip clubs, and I'm not even going to talk about it. But,
not this time.
But I, for birthday parties that women were throwing, actually. And some of my guy friends, they're like, let's go, Sandy. I'm like, okay, I'll go. And, and I look at some of the women, I'm like, so what makes you do this? A couple of them was like, well, I'm still in school, or, I have to take care of my baby. And they look like they were babies themselves. And, it's like, this is not what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be a this, or I'm going to be a that. And so in my head, I can't even imagine, even though we all went through stuff. I couldn't imagine being anything but successful, because from a young age, I learned to internalize. And the only way I know how to get rid of the demons is to internalize, and then start writing and writing and writing and writing. And it led me to a profession that I still don't. People ask me, how did you get into it? I'm like, I don't know. I was working for the company, and they did government contracting stuff, and they were writing some crappy stuff in their ads, and I just told them that this sucks. And they're like, you need to leave right now. And I'm like, you're firing me? And they're like, no, you're going to help us go open up this division called a proposal something. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is, but okay. So I helped them set it up. And I just ran into somebody today, actually working for another company, and she was there. And I left just before she started working there. And I'm like, oh, well, I helped set it up. I was the one that did this and this and this. And she's like, oh my God, did you know this person? And it was amazing, the circle that came around. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I'm seeing a lot of circles coming around full circle. Mm-hmm. So many things. Just the sheer fact that I can walk into my house or walk out of my house without feeling nothing, except looking at that beautiful aqua blue door. It's bad. I was going to use bad ASS, but that's your word today.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave all the swearing on me today. It's all right.
But to be able to walk in and out of your own home, to, just being able to have communication. My sister and I were not on the best of terms, but to be able to just have her reach out and be the one to reach out to me to say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? You came across my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, things are good. How are you? Whatever. I never thought I would be that person that would be able to compartmentalize, relationships. And I have learned how to. And, there are days that I'm just like, what the hell? Like, is this really happening? And there are days that I'm like, wow, you're just really doing this. I'm not going to say I'm not caring. I do care, but you're just living your life the way you want to do. I've literally prayed to God to remove negative people, negative thoughts, negative things from my life. And he did. And there's so many people that just, I shouldn't say so many, there are a couple of people that just stopped talking to me. One of them is a friend. she and I have been friends. She's done many things to help me. And I attached myself to her because when my mom passed, I didn't have like an older woman, and she's an older woman. We got along well. We did this shopping, thrift shopping, all this stuff together. Her wedding, I flew there, did for a week to help her get it together. Just everything, and she was not very nice to me during her wedding. She was not very nice to a couple people, including her brother. And her brother was not kind to her either. He did some stuff that I thought was kind of messed up. But at the end of the day, that's kind of like, I guess, the dynamics of I'm not putting up with bad behavior or being treated poorly or unkindly or spoken to disrespectfully in front of people, right?
People treat you how you let them treat you.
Exactly. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow. He ended up leaving her wedding without even saying bye to her. Mm. And she was really hurt. But he was just like over it. And I just thought she didn't really show much appreciation. I had the wedding gifts, the little gifts bag made. I did all these things and helped her set up the decorations, blah, blah, blah. Her stepsister invited me to her beach house for the week because she just thought I did such a great job. She said, you did a lot, and it was really... I really admire that, and just nice, just to be nice. And I deeply appreciated it, and I didn't say anything to my friend until I was actually there. Like, oh yeah, she let me use it to say thank you for helping you and so forth. And I think she took that as I was slamming her, but I honestly wasn't, and then I had a debt with her, and I repaid the debt. And even with that, she was kind of like, yeah, confirmed. Because I was like, confirmed that this is, no. And she's like, yeah, confirmed. And after that, she just disappeared, stopped talking to me, stopped reaching out, stopped everything. And then I really realized that so many people have control issues. They have to control every single thing in your life. She also helped me to realize that, like certain people in my life, my sister used to be a little bit like that too. And I'm not picking on you, my darling sister. I love you to death, but you were hardcore. There are situations where, not that if it's hard for me to even say it. It's just sometimes people like you to stay in your current state, right? So if you're sad or depressed or down or broke or whatever, they can help you. They can be here and they can help you, Or if you're going along like this, it's fine, but you always have to be kind of like, I'm a little bit below. And I find that when you start being on even keel, those are the people that kind of disappear. And so it was not until about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, about a month and a half ago, I said, you know what? Have you noticed that you're not asking God to remove negative people from your life anymore? Mm. It was the weirdest thing. It was just an epiphany. And I talked to the counselor about that, and she said, well, maybe God has uprooted some of those people. I'm like, well, that's so weird because this person was so good to me. This person was so good to me. We were such good friends. Like, what happened? Mm-hmm. And to this day, I don't know what happened. And that's me. I'm like, I needed to know. I wanted closure. I want to know what I did. I'm going to write you an email. And a couple of days ago, and I'm like, you know what? You asked for negative to be removed, and it was removed. Thank you, God. Next. I'm not chasing anyone. I am. We as human beings, we don't have to chase people to beg them to love us, to be our friends, to be our this or be our that. If you just be your authentic self, people gravitate to you. Sometimes it's the wrong person, but people don't come into your life by accident.
You know what, though? I want to add something to that, though. So, a person doesn't respond or, whatever the situation is, it's possible that person could be going through something.
I think that I checked in with, I did this to make sure, and I did that to make sure, and I'm
still not the person though. No. Sometimes we hide it from everybody.
Yeah. And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. So if you're going through something and you say I'm your friend, tell me. I've had people say that, listen, it's not you. I'm going through stuff. I just need my time. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. You have it. And I may not hear from them for a while, and then a few months later, I hear from them.
Yeah. And you know what? Yes, they're in a relationship with you. Most people will abide by that. But I have to laugh because I'm like that too, where I'm like, just tell me you're not feeling good, or tell me you're upset and I'll leave you alone. That's my script. That's what the problem. I want people to follow my script. And it's not necessarily in their nature. And I go through that sometimes, like even with my daughter, I will like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Well, if you're not okay, just tell me you're not okay and I'll just leave you alone, but don't lie to me and say you're okay. That's what I want. And I'm realizing it. Everybody can't do it the way I want it. So, but yeah, I just want to throw that in there. Sometimes people
it's true.
Some people are going through their own stuff, and you want them to handle you the way you would handle a situation.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is very, very hard. So, I have my sister that's not really talking to me. And
your sister that's in Jamaica, right? Oh. Okay. I was really looking forward to meeting her.
You know what you mean?
I'm not mean.
You're mean. Oh my God. You know how brutal
well, look,
it is.
Here's the deal. So we did like 13, 14 of these, and we talked about a lot of stuff. So I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. As we wrap this up, you're not crying, are you?
No. Oh, no, gosh. You didn't make me cry this time.
Say, Lord Jesus, not every time. No, I'm just joking. So a couple of things before I ask my question.
Okay.
I want to make sure we wrap some of these points up. We talked, in so many words, we never called it, but we talked about mental health. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned stuff about people's childhood and how people need to face it pretty much, because it does show up in your adult life, and how it looks different for everybody. Right? So for the woman, and this, by all means, I'm not generalizing, but this is just an example of what I've seen. For the woman that feels that she has to show her body, it's because when she was little, she didn't feel loved, or she felt insecure about something, right? Mm-hmm. So she needs people to oogle and ah at her to keep. So that's something from childhood. Or, a child who feels like they got put on the back burner. They get annoyed when someone doesn't answer their call as an adult. So they think you're always avoiding me, or you're putting me last, because they experienced that as a kid. Not that. And as I say this, I need to stop saying somebody. Me. How about that? I had that issue where I could call someone and I'm like, they're not answering the phone. Oh, I'm not important to them, and they're putting me on the back burner. And now I'm older. I'm like, they might be in the bathroom, Shaunte, or they might be on another call. It's not about you. But for some reason, there are some things from my childhood that made me think differently. So yes, all that to say, if you're listening, face your childhood, because you never know. If you have something that's going on in your life and you just can't put your finger on why that's happening, majority of the time, it's something that happened in your childhood. It's something that's been ingrained in you. So I want to make sure that point didn't get lost. And then the last thing you talked about was how you landed into the role of writing. We won't describe it perfectly what you do, but writing. So one of the things I want to share with you, my mother-in-law shares with me and my husband, I think it's in the Bible. She said, your gifts will make room for you. So it's one of those things, like, you don't know how you landed in it, but look how you like you're in it. Right? And you're like, I just writing. And they put me in an area where I didn't even know what it was. What's a proposal, So your gifts will make room for you, and so that looks like you're living that right now. So this is our last one of this group, this last conversation.
Yes.
Okay. So my question to you, and I'm sure others may be curious too, because I know we didn't cover everything you wanted to cover.
No, there's still so
much more. So the question is, are you doing more? Are we having more cross conversations?
We are. This has become such an important part of who I am, and my I don't want to say recovery, but I feel like I am in recovery. I feel like I'm healing, and as I'm healing, a good example is I split my lip open because I was dumb enough to face plank, busted my lip, hurt my tooth, couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing, but it did help me to lose some weight. Anyway, I went to the dentist because I'm just like, I have a little sensitivity like in my jaw and I don't understand, what's going on. So she said, well, you had a fall 3.5 weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah. She said, so it's healing. I'm like, well, my lip is almost 99% done. She said, okay, so your lip and then your tooth isn't sensitive anymore, right? I'm like, no. She's like, now it's underneath the roots into the muscles.
The nerve and the muscles. Oh, yeah.
She's like, that now has to heal. And I didn't realize that I wasn't even opening my mouth. I lived with this thing.
You had like an invisible wired mouth.
Yeah, and I was like this, and I was not good. Ooh.
Well, it still hurts.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a little much.
So yeah, the healing has to work. It's what kind of like any place in your body
all the way
has to work
up.
Its way through.
Yeah, but she had to give me muscle relaxers. I'm like, okay, so she knows. She's like, I know, Sandra. You don't even want to take aspirins. I'm like, nothing. Body's a temple. Don't want no aspirins up in here, right? She gave me a muscle relaxer. I'm like, am I going to become addicted?
They do feel pretty good, though.
No, but am I going to sleep? Because, I can't be sleeping.
I got work to do.
She's like, one, I don't want you stressing. We talked about this stress stuff. I'm like, in my teeth? She said, don't stress. But, this has become something that's bigger than me, honestly. And with all the procrastinations and everything else that I've been avoiding, I just think it's going to blow up and people are going to want to hear more. And who I keep thinking about? Issa Rae from Insecure. Mm-hmm. She started off doing like
YouTube
videos. And honestly, when I was working at AOL, I talked to one of the infrastructure guys. I'm like, I want to be able to do stuff online. I want to be able to watch a TV show and do a movie online. And we did all this research to see how it was done and was going to present it. And I'm like, no, it's too much. And then I ended up quitting. And then look at all of this stuff now, right?
No, it's too much. I know when it happened, you were like...
Yeah. And so I really followed her from the beginning. I loved her and followed her from the beginning. And so life has a way of just kind of imitating art. And I'm hoping that from something as simple as this to maybe even being not so shy and going like personal with it and showing my face to having Tyler Perry or Oprah Winfrey or Issa Rae.
Oh, you're doing all the shout outs here. Okay.
Yo, I want to turn this into a little mini, 10-minute thing or whatever. Anything. And the coming episodes are going to be fun because I've had a very interesting life, from celebrities to, like family friends with the Marleys, all this stuff. So,
but you had to sort through your mess. And if I could think back to when we started and looking at you today, I do see a lot of healing that's taken place.
I had to, or else you wouldn't have seen me here today.
So,
I had to.
That's deep.
I had to, because there's too many times I was driving on the road. I'm like, nobody would miss me. I just kind of went this way accidentally.
Wow.
I don't have any pills in the closet to take or anything like that. And
but that's still scary.
It is very scary.
So I'm glad you don't think that way now.
Who would care? And I know the kids would be devastated, but I'm like, well, they had their daddy, but and that's another thing too that led to
about that.
Yeah, we there's more to that. But I think the kids helped to save me. And this helped to save me. Just having an outlet to talk to, and the thought that I am releasing. I'm releasing this, and I'm releasing and releasing and releasing. And there's a lot more.
No,
there's a lot of layers to this onion, honey.
It is. And I'm glad because, here's the deal. I know a lot of stigmas have been in place. Even for me, Black people don't go to therapy. Yes, we do. If you're listening, we do. And if you don't, you should. So it's, let's normalize that. It's a resource. It's something that you probably deserve because to get you through those tough times that you can't figure out on your own, these people are trained professionals. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you, that you're going to a therapist and everything, everybody else is right and you're wrong. No. Get mental help.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. We all need a mental health help. We all do. I encourage my children. My son was so reluctant to get any kind of help in therapy, to talk about his dad, to talk about just everything that he's been through, and then finally, he started going and he started reading books. I encourage everybody to read, but he started reading books and he started going to therapy, and he's a totally different person. Now he's even having a nerve to have talk back to me, but that's okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm a man, okay?
I'm telling you, you don't know how many people are listening to this that are probably like, I ain't going to no therapist. What can a therapist talk to me about? I ain't doing that.
And honestly, we all have issues. We all have our concerns. We all need help. But and I'm not being racist. I'm saying that because I'm not being racist. But for a fact, as Black women, the pressure that's on us compared to others, I don't care what other race, color, creed, creature, whatever, it is so immense because we have the stigma of we carry the world on our shoulder.
We can't fail.
We have zero room for failure.
There's no room for error.
Zero.
Yeah. I would say little stuff like when I took on a project or a new job, I'm like, yeah, either my name is going to go up in smoke or down in history. So down in history or up in smoke. So, yeah. But I'm a firm advocate for it. Oh, yes, absolutely. Shout out to mine. You know who you are.
Well, I have a few, so.
A few. Oh, she keeping them employed.
Well, we have the counselors, the life coach.
Coaches.
Yeah, I have to, because you have your preacher, your school counselors. Yeah. I know quite a few of them that's just phenomenal. You have resources. And don't ever think like you're alone or anything like that. You're not. And when you're going to have the ability to go back and listen to this and say, oh, whatever, who's she preaching, blah, 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 if she's boring, blah, 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 this old lady, blah, blah.
Nobody knows you're old lady till you told them.
I'm not.
You said this old lady.
Well, let somebody call me that. Because, after 35, you're old. But no, I'm just kidding.
No, not 35.
No, I'm just teasing. No, but yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're a teenager, you're preteen, you're 95, it doesn't really matter. If you need help, get it. If you need help, get it.
I think that's
words.
wise
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Nothing to be embarrassed about at all. You don't even have to tell anybody that you're doing it.
For real, just because I didn't for the longest time. Nobody knew.
I didn't for a while either.
Yeah, for a long time, it's like, yo, you're not gonna get me.
I'm not telling nobody. Look,
nobody.
And these days, I tell you, so thank COVID, but you can meet virtually, and they were in place all along, but even more so now. So you don't even have to leave your home. You can do it in your car. You can do it. I do it in my bed sometimes. We talking about therapy, by the way. So I do it in my bed sometimes. I do it in the car, wherever. So, but yeah, I think that's a good message to leave with people because I imagine myself before now. I wish someone would have told me a long time ago too. But I want to say to you, thank you for trusting me. to be with you in this journey and including me in this awesome project right here. And I'm looking forward to Crosse Conversations 2.0.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be walking the red carpet. No, but I mean, see, let me live. Let me speak it out.
Okay.
I'm speaking it into being, right?
Let's put it out there. What did you say? Red carpet?
Red carpet, you know.
Helicopter? Can we arrive by helicopter?
We've done that. We've done that, girl.
Can we arrive by helicopter? Yeah. I would like that.
Yeah, I would too. You know, I don't want a limo. Just send a helicopter.
Put me on the top of the building and we'll come down.
Right?
Yeah. I want to
make a grand entrance. But yeah, this has been fun, and there are definitely more ahead. And, you know, some of it may get a little dicey, but, you know, that's what life is. It's about your experiences and what your truth is. And just as long as you live your truth and you live kindly, nobody can touch you. I think I'm going to end on that because I just thought that was so deep.
Okay, we'll let her in on that deep thought. So we'll stay tuned for more Crosse Conversations, and thank you for hanging with us.
Bye.
Bye.
Until next time.